Hello, I welcome you all to today's lesson. So we are going to do some revisions. So we are going to go through bearings. We are going to go through functions, AP, which is arithmetic progression, and the quadratic functions. This is what we are going to devise through today. So if you didn't understand bearings, I believe with this example you are able to understand bearings. So that's a note there. That's a note. So let us now answer the question. So this is the way the question is. The question is saying find the bearing of A from C. B, it is saying we find the bearing of C from B. So these are the two questions which we are given. So how can we go about these questions? How can we answer them? So these are very simple questions. This is how we are going to answer them. So the first one is saying, what is the first question? The first question is this one, which is saying find the bearing of A from C. So A from C, you are starting from C. So you go at C there, you put a note there. Have you seen? This is what you are going to do. You put a note there. So from C here, what you are calculating is this. I told you that bearings we move in a what? In a clockwise direction. So like this until you meet A, like this. So this is the angle which we want to calculate. Have you seen the angle here? This is the angle that we want to calculate. So calculating this angle, first thing we need to know that once we know that, we need to add this one and that one, then subtract from 360, which is a complete turn. So now we are going to do some calculations and try to find the value which is there. So how can you find the value which is there? These two lines, the way they are telling you that the angle which is there and the angle which is there, they are what? They are equal. So you know that angles inside the triangle adds up to 180. So when you add all the angles inside the triangle, you should get a 180. So we already have 100 here. So this 100 that is here, and we don't know these values. So we say 180 minus 100. What are we getting? We are getting a 80. So 80. So this 80 is being shared by these two angles equally. So which means that here you've got a 40 degrees. Even there we've got a what? A 40 degrees. This is what we are given. So if I put a north there, if I do this and put a north there, which means that these two angles there, have you seen the way they are? These two must give me a 180. This is a principle which I told you. So what you need to do, you just say 180. So just say 180 minus 32. This is what we are going to do. 180 minus 32, you are going to get what? 180 minus 32. The 32 that is here, you are going to get 148. So there you've got what? 148. Since you've got 148 there, we find the angle which is there. So we need to calculate the angle which is there. This is almost a complete turn. So 148 plus the 40. So 148 plus the 40 which is given. What are you getting? 188. This same 188, then the same 188, you do what? You say 360 minus 188. So you find the value that is there. So minus what? 360. This is what you are going to do. You are going to say 360 minus 188. What are you getting? 172. Meaning the angle which is there, the angle there, it is what? 172. Since it is 172, what you are going to do is that you know that the angle which is there and the angle which is here should add up to 180. So if that is 172, then here definitely we've got 8 as the value there. So we've got 80, the value there. So what you're going to do is that you add these, then subtract from 360, then you found the bearing there. So you're going to say that the bearing, this is what you're going to say. The bearing, you're going to get this. The bearing, So the bearing of A from C is what? You say 360 minus 100 plus 8, you get 1008. This is what we are going to do. So with this now, you now do the calculations now. Have you seen? You say 360 minus 108. What are you going to get? You are going to get what? You are going to get your answer will definitely be 252 degrees. So this is your answer. Have you seen? This is how you need to calculate that one. I now move to the other one. What's the other question saying? So this other question, it is saying, this is the other question which I'm given. So the other question, it is saying C from B. I find the bearing of C from B. So how can I find the bearing of C from B? So C from B, I start from B. Have you seen B? I start from B, then I meet what? I meet C. This is what I'm going to do. So B, I meet C. So what is the answer? B is there already. Have you seen? B is there already. Then I meet C. Have you seen? So the bearing of C from B. B is there. I meet C. Where is C? The line for C is this one. So it's just the same angle which I found there, which is what? 172. So C from B, no need of calculating, we've already calculated, which is 172 degrees. So that is what? That is your answer. We already calculated it there. So these are the calculations that you need to do. So we've answered the first part of this lesson. So we've revised through bearings. So bearings, it is a must you are going to find a question under bearing in your exam. So make sure you practice through this. Make sure you understand this, what it means, what all these principles mean. Make sure you get the concept. So the concept which I was using, just to highlight one or two things, I said that if you are given, this is what, if you are given something like this, if this is N, the angle which is there is equal to the angle which is there. This is what you need to understand. So if you are given a triangle, if something is like this is how they are going to confuse you. Then they give you this angle there, which means the angle there is equal to the angle that is there. Have you seen? So questions will be coming in this manner. Or a question can be in this manner, where you are given something like this. These are the two lines like this. So the angle that is there is equal to the angle which is there. Have you seen? So this is how these things get to work. This is how you need to understand them. The other thing which I told you was, if you are given a line here, if this is A, this is B. If you put a north there, you also put a north here like this. So the angle which is here and the angle there, these two must add up to 180. So if you are given the angle there, you are told to find the angle that is there. Then you do what? You calculate. So they will not come in this way. They will come in a way that they are going to confuse you. They will just put something like this. Have you seen? They will put something like this and say that this is D. Have you seen now? So which means even here, when I put a north here like this, the angle which is there, have you seen the angle there? And the angle which is here, these two must also add up to 180. And you know that angles inside the triangle adds up to 180. So these are some of the things that will help you answer that question or understand that question. So let us move to question 2. This is our next question, which is under functions. So it is saying that a function f of x is equal to 3 over, so it is equal to 3 over 5x plus 1, where x is not equal to, so there was supposed to be a negative there. So where x is not equal to negative 1 over 5. Why have they said this? If we put negative 1 over 5 here, we are going to have a denominator as 0. But even if you don't understand this, you can still answer this question. Even if you don't understand how this one is working, you can still answer this question as long as you know the principles that you are using. So what is the first question saying? The first question is saying find f inverse of x. We want to find f inverse of x, so we are going to start with a. So it is saying you find f inverse of x. How can you find f inverse of x? You ask yourself, where is this function coming from? There is f, so it is coming from that function, where you say f of x is equal to 3 over what? 5x plus 1. This is what you are going to do. Then where there is f of x here, you are going to put y. So you are going to say y is equal to 3 over 5x plus 1. This is what you are going to do. So after you reach at this stage, so the moment you just reach at this stage, your main aim now should do make x the subject of the formula. So once you reach here, you need to make x, which is here, the subject of the formula. So we need to make x the subject of the formula. So how can you make x the subject of the formula? You say over 1, where here you do what? You cross multiply. So you cross multiply. How can you cross multiply here? You are going to do this. Since these are having two terms, we cannot multiply direct. You are going to say y, open bracket. We are going to say 5x plus 1 is equal to what? Is equal to 3. This is what you are going to do. From here now, you start expanding. Don't forget your aim. You want to make x the subject of the formula. So y times 5xy. You are going to get what? You are going to get 5xy. This is what you are going to get. Y times 1. It is just y plus y, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 3. This is what you are going to do. So when you reach there, what is the next procedure? You want to make what? X the subject of the formula. So this y will go to this other side. So that we just remain with 5xy, which is equal to 3. So when the y comes this side, it's going to be minus what? Minus y. This is what we are going to have. So with that now, what is the next thing here? You divide both sides by what? Both sides by 5y. You also divide there by 5y. This is what you are going to do. So this 5, that 5y, 5 there, y cancelled. These have cancelled. You remain with the x. So where you are going to say, so you are going to say that x, the answer was what? X is equal to, what was the answer? This was the answer. So where you say 3 minus y over 5y. This is what you are going to do. Then you just say, therefore, your final answer is now f inverse of x is equal to, what is your final answer now? Your final answer, how is your final answer going to be? Since you've put x there, which means that even here where there is y there, we're going to put x. So it's 3 minus x over 5x. So this is your answer. This is how you need to answer that one. So these are procedures that you need to follow. This is the work that you need to get and understand. So let's make sure we get the necessary concept. We understand everything that we need to do. This is my official channel. So if you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe. This is the official channel that I'm using. So you can subscribe to this so that you get all the notifications that will be coming on this channel. So we are given this other question. So what is this other question saying? In this question, we are taught to find x. We are taught to find what? We are taught to find x if f of x is equal to 6. So we are taught to find x. So what we are going to do is this. This is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to do. We are going to say, we are told that f of x is equal to what? 3 over 5x plus 1. This is what we are given in the question. This is what we are given. But on this question which we are solving, we are told that f of x, this part here, we are told that this part is equal to what? Is equal to 6. So where there is f of x here, you are going to put what? 6. We are going to say 6 is equal to 3 over 5x plus 1. This is what we are going to do. Then you say over 1 here, then you cross multiply. Why are you doing this? So that you find the value of x. So we cross multiply. So don't make a mistake here. So since this is a 6, these are two terms here. So we are going to put them in brackets. We are going to say 6, open bracket, 5x plus 1 cross, which is equal to 1 times 3. We are going to get a what? We are going to get a 3. That is a 3 that you are going to get. So from there now, what are some of the procedures that we are going to do? What are some of the procedures that you are going to put into consideration? You start multiplying. 6 times 5x, 30x. 6 times 1, you get what? 6, which is equal to 3. From here, what's the next thing? You group like terms. This 6 will go to the other side of the equation. You are going to get 30x, which is equal to 3 minus 6. This is what you are going to do. So we are going to say 30x is equal to what? Is equal to what? Is equal to negative 3. Then you divide both sides by 30 here, so that we have the value of x here. So divide by 30 there. You also divide by 30 there. This is what we are going to do. We divide by 30. So when you divide by 30, this and that will be cancelled. Which means that what we are going to remain with, when this is cancelled, we are going to have x, which is equal to 3 there it is 1. 3 there it is 10. So it is 10. So the answer is negative 1 over 10. This is your answer. This is how you need to calculate that one. So these are the procedures that you need to do. These are the procedures that you need to understand. So when you are told to, this was the question, I was told to calculate what? I was told to calculate x if f of x was equal to 6. On this one, I was told to find the inverse function. So this is how you need to answer this question. This is how you need to go about these questions. Even functions, you never find a paper, paper 1, where there is no question under functions. These are important topics that you need to know. These are important topics that you need to understand. So even as the exams are approaching, let's make sure we get this. Let's make sure we understand all these principles that I'm trying to share with you. These are things that will help us understand mathematics. These are things that will help us get a distinction in mathematics. I always tell you that mathematics is based mostly on paper 1. People are able to get everything in paper 2, but what will give you a better grade, what will determine your grade is paper 1, where you are given questions and you don't have a calculator to use. So let's make sure we understand these questions. Let's make sure we go through all these questions. These are questions that we need to get and understand. So we've done so far bearings and functions. Let us now revise another question. So let us move to the other question. Another question that we are having under arithmetic progression, which is AP. So this is the way the question is. Given that 11th term is 43 of an AP. This is an AP. So the 11th term is 43 of an AP. And the first term is 3. Find the first question, we are taught to find the common difference. Then the second one, we are taught to find the fourth term. So this is how the question is. So how can we handle this question? How can we answer it? So I'll teach you the easiest way to go about this question. This is also a question that don't miss in an exam. These are important topics that don't miss in an exam, especially paper 1. In paper 1, that's where we are going to find AP. But paper 2, we find GP. So let's make sure that we understand this question, we know how to go about it. So it is saying that the 11th term, we are given the 11th term, we are also given the first term. So how can you find the first question, which is common difference? How can you find the common difference? So the way in which we are going to find the common difference, it is very simple. This is what you are going to do. So you are going to write the formula. You are going to say Tn. This is the formula that we use for nth term. A plus open bracket n minus 1 close, then a d there. This is the formula that we use. So we use the data which is given. We are given the what? The 11th term. So we are given the 11th term. So which means n is equal to what? N is equal to 11. And this 11th term also it is given, which is what? 43. Have you seen? So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do this. This is what I'll do. I will say T11, where there is n there I put 11, which is equal to, what is the first term? The first term I'm given is what? Is 3. Then I say plus, open bracket. What is my n? My n is what? 11 minus 1, close. Then the d, which is the common difference, the one I want to find. Now as you can see, so what I did is that I'm given that the 11th term, so n is equals to 11. Then this same 11th term is given, which is 43. So what I did was that where there is n, I'm going to put 11. Then where there is a is the first term. So a was the first term, which is what? 3. Where there is a, I put 3. Then where there is, have you seen this now, Tn, which is here, I'm going to put 43. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 43, which is equal to, this is what I'm going to do. Then I say 11 minus 1, it is 10, times d there, so it is plus 10d. This is what I'm going to form. So as you can see, we formed an equation. This is now an equation that we need to do. What is the first thing we need to do? We group like terms. So we are going to group the like terms here, where I'm going to say 43 minus 3 is equal to 10 what? 10d. This one has moved to the other side of the equation. So when it moves to the other side of the equation, the sign is going to do what? The sign is going to change. So 43 minus 3, that is 40. So I'm going to say 40 is equal to 10 what? 10d. Where I'm going to say over 40, so that I find the d there. Over 40 there. So 10 cancelled. Then I'm going to have my d, which is equal to, so 10 into 40, it is 4. So which means that my common difference is equal to what? Is equal to 4. So just say therefore common difference. This is the difference. So common difference, you finish it. Common difference is 4. You are done. So we've answered this question. We found what? The common difference by those procedures that I was doing. This is how you need to calculate the common difference. I move to the other question. I was also given the other question. So this is the question which I'm given. So what am I told in this question? What am I told? I'm told to find the what? I'm told to find. So in this case, I'm told to find the what? I'm told to find the fourth term. How can you find the fourth term? So how can we calculate the fourth term? This is how we are going to calculate the fourth term. I'm going to say that formula for the nth term. So nth term is Tn is equal to a plus open bracket n minus 1 close, then a d there. So I'm given the common difference which I've just found, which is a 4. I've calculated that it is what? It is 4. Then I'm told the first term. The first term it is what? It is 3. The first term it is 3. Where I'm going to say then n, the one I'm told, so n is 4 in this case because I'm told to find the fourth term. So n is equal to 4. D is equal to 4. A is equal to 3. So this is the data that I'm going to replace here. So where I'm going to say Tn is equal to, have you seen? Tn is equal to the same formula here. So here I can not do this. I'll just say, I'm not supposed to do this. I'll just say go direct. T4 is equal to, what is the first term? The first term is 3 plus open bracket. The number of terms I'm taught to find is the fourth term. So 4 minus 1 close. What's the common difference? The common difference is 4. This is what I'm going to do. Where I'm going to say that the fourth term is now equal to 3. So I say 4 minus 1, it is 3. 3 times 4, it is 12. So I say plus what? Plus 12, like this. This is what I'm going to do. Where I'm going to say that the fourth term is equal to what? When I add there. So when you add, what is your answer? When you add, you're going to get this answer as what? 15. So which means that the fourth term is what? Is 15. The fourth term is 15. This is how you get to calculate this. This is how you need to understand. Let's now move to the next question. Hope this is blessing you. Hope you are able to understand these things. This is how you need to calculate them. This is how you need to go about these questions. So this is how you need to answer them. This is how you need to practice these questions. So this is how you need to work out these questions. Let us move to the last question. Let us look at another question. So this can be the last question that we are going to look at in this video. So let us look at it. So this is the other question which we are having. So the question is saying, this is the way this question is. The question is saying, below is a graph of y is equal to negative x plus 2, x minus 5, like that. So this is a graph. It is already drawn for us. So this is a sketch of that graph. This is how they have sketched this graph. So what is the question saying? What is the question saying? How is the question saying? So this is the question which we are given. The question is saying, find the coordinates of A and B. Find the coordinates of A and B. How can we find these two coordinates which are here? How can we find these two coordinates? So one thing that should come to your mind before you find these coordinates is that what is here? Here, have you seen a coordinate that is here? As long as it is in the what? As long as it is in the x-axis, the value for y is 0. So in this case, here we've got a coordinate x, 0. I know y is 0. Even here, I've got x, 0. Have you seen? So I know that in this case, a coordinate that is there, it is x, 0. And the coordinate that is there is x, 0. So the main thing here which I need to do is to find the what? Is to find the coordinates. I need to find the coordinates of A and B. Where I know that y is 0, even there y is what? Y is 0. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to get the given equation. This is the given equation for this graph. I get it, then where there is y, I put 0. Which means that I'm just going to get this one here. Then I equate it to 0. So that I come up with the answers which are here. I come up with the value of x and the value of x there. So what I'm going to do is that negative x plus 2. This is what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to do this. Then I've got x minus 5, where I say is equal to 0. I solve this. So what this means is that I'm going to get this one alone, I equate it to 0. I also get this one alone, I equate it to what? I equate it to 0. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say negative x plus 2 is equal to 0. Or I'm going to say x minus 5 is equal to what? Is equal to 0. That's what I'm going to do. Then I solve this equation, I also solve that equation. The values of x that I'm going to find are the values which are going to be there. So this is what I'm doing, and this is what you also supposed to do. So you say this is negative x, which is equal to, so when this one goes outside, we're going to have negative what? Negative 2. We're going to have 0 minus 2, which is equal to negative 2. I divide both sides by negative 1. I divide both sides by negative 1. So that this negative and that negative may cancel out. Then I'm going to say x now is equal to. So the value of x is equal to what? This into that, it is 2. Negative negative will be cancelled. So it is just a 2. Then solving this, it is x is equal to, I've got a 0 there. So plus, when the 5 goes there, plus 5. Where x is equal to 5. So these are the answers. So this is how I need to solve this. X is what? X is 2. X is 5. So these are the two answers. So you ask yourself, which one is 2? Which one is 5? You know that this is a number line. As these numbers are increasing like that, so meaning that the value which is here is smaller than the value which is there. So we start counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just going. So it means here we've got a 2. There we've got a what? A 5. According to the answers that we've solved, then you just conclude and say, this is the conclusion you are going to say, where you are going to say, therefore, the coordinates A are what? 2. There we've said it is 2. So 2, 0, and B. The coordinate of B is what? You say 5, 0. This is what you need to do. So these are the answers that you need to find. So let's make sure we go through all these lessons. Let's make sure we answer them. Let's make sure we revise through all these. So these are the teachings that will help you get a distinction in mathematics. So I just decided that today we do some revisions on the topics that we haven't understood, so that we see how we can move together. So this is what we need to do. These are the questions we need to cover. So we need to know all these. We need to know everything. We need to make sure that we get and understand everything that I'm trying to discuss with you. So let's make sure we get the necessary concept. Let's make sure we revise through everything here. Let's make sure that we revise through everything here. So on top of this, let us now revise through maybe 1 or 2 questions under matrices. We just revise through 1 question under matrices that may come in paper 2. So let us just revise through 1 question under matrices. Just revise through 1 question under matrices. Okay. So let us revise through that question under matrices. Okay, so this is another question which is falling under matrices now. So this question, you usually find it in paper 2. That's where we get to find the matrices. So it is saying that given that A is equal to 3x 2, 1. Find the value of x if determinant of A is 12. Then 2, hence find A inverse. So you are told to find, this is A inverse, you are just told to find the inverse. So how can we go about this question? How can we answer it? So I'm going to show you the easiest way for you to go about this question. So finding the value of x, you are told to find the value of x. So you need to come up with the expression for the determinant, where you are going to say 3 here. looking at this matrix, you know that this is the what? This is the major diagonal. So determinant is found by the product of the major diagonal. You do this, then minus what? The minor diagonal. In the minor diagonal, we've got these numbers, which is 2 and x. So you're going to say like this, then you say 2 times x. This is what you are going to do. Then you equate to what? You equate to the determinant which is given, which is 12. So this is what you are going to do. This is what you need to get. This is what you need to understand. So from here, you say this times this is 3 minus. Here this is 2x, which is what? Which is equal to 12. So from here now, I've taught this. From here, what you're going to do is this. You say this is what? This will be equal to what? This one will go to that other side of the equation. So with this short time that we are having, I want you to answer this. Revise through this. Make sure you answer this and send in my inbox. We know where we send our exercise. I want you to finish this. So make sure you like the video and comment. Thank you.